Good afternoon, parents and students. So today's lesson is going to deal with dividing decimals. Um, so congratulations on making it this far. If you've been watching the videos, continue to do so. That's what they're here for. They're for you guys. So our vocabulary review looks pretty similar to our place value review. The only thing that I added for here is the quotient. So the quotient is the answer to a division problem. So I may say quotient at the end. I may say answer at the end. I'm hoping to say quotient because that's the mathematician language that we want our students to use. So for our examples, for the first one you can see, we're going to do long division. And then for our second one, we're going to do grid method. Um, it's really similar to, for our first example, long division with the whole numbers. Don't let the decimals throw you for a loop. So I'm going to get myself ready. Then we're going to do the first one and I'll explain it. And then we're going to do the second one. Then I'll explain that as well. So give me 1 second to get ready. All right. So let's get started. So my this number right here, 34 hundredths, is going to be my divisor. So that number goes on the outside of my division problem. So the divisor always go on the outside. 645 and 12 hundredths is my dividend. So that goes on the inside. 645. So the main thing that we want to make sure we do is we got to make our divisor a whole number. How do we make our divisor a whole number, you might ask? Move the decimal right there. So now instead of 34 hundredths, now it's 34. What I do to one side, I always do to another. So I move these two, and then I bring my decimal up top. And then all I do now is I start dividing. So let's see, 34 doesn't go into 6, but it does go into 64 once. So then I subtract 34, and I get 20. Now what do? I'm going to bring down my 5. I need to do some multiplication over on this side because I need to see how many times my divisor, which is 34, goes into 205. So give me 1 second. So I found out that if I do 34 times 6, that's going to give me 204. So then I put my 6 right here next to the 1. 6 times 34, 204. And that leaves me with 1. So next I bring down my 11, or my 1 right down here, to make it 11. 34, my divisor, cannot go into 11. So what must I do? I'm going to put a 0 right here, and then I'm going to bring my 2 down. The 0 is my placeholder, okay? So let's bring my 2 down. And so, but 34 will now go into 112. So give me some time to do some multiplication. I'll be right back. All right, I'm now back. So I did 34 times 4, and that gave me 102. So my 4 goes here, right above my 2. 4 times 34, 102. 112 minus 102 is 10. So my answer, or my quotient, is 1,604 with a remainder of 10. So that's what the R right here is for. The R means remainder. So answer with remainder. So if I wanted to, I could rewrite it like this. And that is how you do long division with decimals. I'm going to get myself set up, and then I'm going to show you guys the grid method. Up. So I'm going to show you guys for our second example, the grid method. I'm going to be using two different color markers for the grid method. That is how I showed students how to do it. And so it just makes life a lot easier. So I'm going to use my black marker to actually write out my problem. Then I'm going to switch to another marker to go ahead and solve it. So writing it out, my divisor is 49 hundredths. So that's decimal 49. I'm going to put that way in the corner over here. So right there. Okay. Actually, I'm going to bring it down some. Give me a second. Because I need to leave some space at the top. So let's bring it down to about right here. That's good. So now I'm going to go ahead and draw my box. And you want to make sure that your box is quite long. So just in case you need to add some spaces, you can do so. So now I'm going to add my divisor into my box. This is very key. So pay very close attention. Each of the digits is going to get its own space. So let's see. 7 is my first digit in that number, 745 and 5 tenths. So my 7 is going to go here. Then I'm going to draw a line. My next digit is a 4. That's going to go here. I need to give myself some space to the left. My next digit is a 5. So I'm going to give myself some space. I'm going to bring it, do that same thing. And then my next digit, my decimal would go with it, would be 5. And then right there. Okay. So just like in long division, we need to make our divisor, which is the number outside of our box, a whole number. So I'm going to move it 2 spaces. What I do to the outside, I must also do to the inside. So this is where I said you need to leave yourself some space right here. So I have 0.5 right here, or decimal 5 right here. I'm going to move my decimal 2 spaces. So that means I need to create 2 more boxes. 1 for a 0 here, 1 for a 0 here. Okay. And I know it's a little cramped. I want to try and actually, I'm going to go ahead and fix my line. Try to make it a little less cramped. All right. So let's get started. So, and then my decimal now comes at the very end of my second box. So I've moved the decimal 1 space, 2 space. So now it's going to go right up there. Actually, there we go. 0 here, 0 here. So that's where it goes. Okay. Now comes the fun part. So 49, how many times will that go into 7? 0. And I'm actually going to go ahead and change my marker like I said I was. There. Let's make sure this one works. Perfect. 49. How many times will it go into 7? Absolutely none. So I put a 0 top. 0 times 49 is 0. What's 7 minus 0? 7. Now, let me see. I'm going to scoot it up a little bit more. Now I bring my 7 over to this box, which gives me 74. I know that 49 will go into 74 one time. 1 times 49 equals 49. So now I subtract 74 minus 49. 4 minus 9, can't do that. So that 7 becomes a 6. This turns into a 14. 14 minus 9 is 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. 5. I still have to count on my fingers too. It's okay. And then 6 minus 4 is 2. All right. So now what I do is I bring this 25 over to the next box. So now my new number is 255. How many times will 49 go into 255? Give me just a few quick seconds to do some math. So I did some quick math. So I found out that 49 goes into 255 5 times. So I put a 5 up here. So now 5 times 49 gives me 245. So I'm going to subtract 245 from 255. That gives me 0, 1, 0. So, and then 0. So 255 minus 245 is now 10. Okay. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to bring this 10, my answer, up to this box now. So now that 5 becomes 105 because I brought the entire 10 over. So how many times does 49 go into 105? 49 goes into 105 two times. So I put my 2 right up here. 2 times 49 is going to give me 98. So now I do 105 minus 98. 5 minus 8 can't do that. Go to next door. 0 can't do that. That becomes a 0. That becomes a 10. And that switches to a 9, which gives me 0 there. My 5 becomes a 15. 15 minus 8 is 7. So 105 minus 98 is going to give me 7. So then I bring my 7 to my first 0, and now that becomes 70. 49 goes into 70 one time. So what's 70 minus 49? I know it looks really unneat. If I had it on paper, it could be easier, but just try and bear with me. So 70 minus 49 is going to give me 21. So that's 21 right here. And then I bring this 21 over to my last 0, and that now becomes 210. So how many times does 49 go into 210? It will go in 4 times. So I put my 4 right here. And so 4 times 49 gives me 196. And then I would just do 210 minus 196, which gives me 14 is going to be, let me move my board, the last answer that I get. So 14 is my remainder. So my answer is up here at the top, 15214. So that's 15. Hold on, I'm just going to go ahead and write my numbers at the top. 15214. So my answer would be 15,214 with a remainder of 14. So remember, your answer comes from what is above your boxes. So we had a 1 here, 5 here, a 2 here, a 1 here, and a 4 here, which gives me my answer right up here, 15,214, with my remainder, which is the answer I had from the last box of 14. So this is my quotient, or the answer to my division problem. I know this one was a lot tougher, so if you have any specific questions about any specific problems, please send them to me and I will try to work them out the best way that I can. Thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you have a good rest of the day.